for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic!
Here is Shunsuke Nakamura! Exquisite!
Hello everybody and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford. Big name, big impact. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is all about that man tonight. And Celtic just about saving the title dream. The title charge is still on. Alan is with me tonight. Alan, hope you're well, mate. And I hope your heart's calmed down for last night, mate. And I hope you're very well.
Aye, how'd you answer that? Good evening. Good evening, everyone that's watching. Hope these are all well. Yeah, it was. I think we need to stick to the positives. That it was 3 points that were kind of badly needed. We'll say about how important this run of games is going to be, and probably we looked as if we were going to fall at the first and maybe easiest hurdle. Aye, fantastic goal for Oxlade-Chamberlain. Magnificent start to his Celtic career. So here's hoping that he can kind of kick on for that, and we can see the kind of Oxlade-Chamberlain, well, similar to the Oxlade-Chamberlain we've seen for a number of years. So, yeah, concerning watching a lot of the kind of creativity, a lot of the kind of the lack of poise in front of goal, the finishing, etc., cutting edge, but. Yeah, it was a fantastic feeling again to kind of get the 3 points late on. But yeah, one thing's for sure, the performance levels and the creativity are definitely going to need to improve for this run of games that we've got. We'll get away with one, but it could have been a lot worse last night. It could have ended up a draw. Our rivals across the city, they were kind of looked as if they were going to win. We could have been kind of 5 points adrift of them and 8 points adrift of Hearts. So yeah, massive 3 points, great goal, and here's hoping again that kicks on for Sunday, isn't it, the Kilmarnock game. So here's hoping we can go to Rugby Park, and we'll definitely need a good performance, and every game is a must-win for now.
Yeah, like you mentioned, mate, when you first spoke there about the run of games we've got now. If you want to say, listen, we all know in football there's no easy game. You still need to turn up and win. But realistically, out of the run of games we've got, Alan, it was probably Celtic Park, Livingston. They've won one game, I think, all season out of 26 games. They've really got a goal threat. They don't really defend well at the moment. We always knew what they were going to come and do. They were going to backs against the wall and just try and get a set piece, etc., which they nearly done. Obviously, they get a penalty. We'll speak on that. But I would have liked to have scored a few more goals and helped the goal difference as well, Alan, and the confidence, obviously. What was your take on the teammate? Was there anybody who you thought should have started? Should have not started, obviously. Bernardo wasn't in the team sheet again. The squad, Nacho wasn't in the squad. Is maybe they two guys, is their time up under Martin O'Neill, or is it just because of the new signings coming in? They've obviously got a chance as well, but it maybe does show, Alan, that there is a bit of a squad depth there. We don't know how good the quality is yet, but obviously one man we do know is the quality is Oxlade-Chamberlain with that goal. But what's your take on Ian Nacho not playing at the moment? Bernardo's not got a game at the moment. Hatate, when he came on, we'll touch on, didn't look great. He's not even playing much now under Martin O'Neill. So what's your take on that, mate?
We have got depth and numbers now. Whether that quality is there, that's another question. I think you look at kind of Bernardo, maybe coming out the cold, but we're looking at the kind of last three managers that we've had, and kind of Rodgers, Nancy and O'Neill, they've not really kind of been playing Bernardo that much. So he's come in out the cold, but when you get that opportunity as a footballer, you know that you need to kind of take that opportunity and kind of show why you should be in that starting 11 or be in the squad. So Kelechi's had his injury problems constantly. when he has been in, he's looked okay. So it is the quality, it's that cutting edge. You look at last night, I says to you before we come on, I think parts of the full game, there was a lot of our kind of creative players were looking at the Livingston low block and they were running out of kind of ideas how to break that down. And that's a game that we should be able to have the quality to kind of break through that low block. So I seen a comment with Big Tam, Chivanchera. I like to look at him the first two games. We still need time to judge. I think he's definitely had an off night last night. I think that was a very, very poor miss. I say it's no better than Kenny. That might be a bit harsh, but I think he probably underperformed last night. That we're going to need kind of a bit better than that. But as I say, we just probably need to look at the positives of it. It's the 3 points, but as I say, it's continually. There's always so long that you could go with kind of poor performance after poor performance, and the matter of fact is that it catches up with you eventually. So we need to kind of turn that corner. We need to start kind of putting in good performances because that leads to good results. Because if we continue in this vein of form, I think it's only a matter of time before it does catch up with us. So yeah, I think with the players, we need to expect a wee bit more. You mentioned Hatate as well. I'm Hatate's biggest fan, but he has been extremely poor over the last kind of number of weeks. I think you can add another few players into that when you're looking at kind of going through the team. You're looking at Scales, you're looking at kind of Bernardo. I think Engels and Negrin last night looked a bit lacklustre as well. So it needs to improve. But again, we got the 3 points. That's the positive that we look upon with us.
In terms of the first half, Alan, I thought the first half, when we got the goal, I thought we started really well. It was quite quick. We were direct. Then we get the goal, and the second half, it just, again, I don't know what it is, if it's fitness or is it when they get up one goal, it's just right, they actually get the goal now, we can take the foot off the gas. I don't know. The guys in the chat, you can put in your comments as well what you think it. Am I seeing it wrong? Am I seeing it right? Let me know. But majority of the games I've seen this season, we start really, really well, especially at Hampden. We were really good against Rangers. Nancy at home against Rangers were really good. Hearts at home, really good. Hearts at Tynecastle, recently Martin O'Neill, brilliant in the first half. Then again, we faded away. We started really, really well. We got the goal, and then it was flying, it was direct, and then we kind of, maybe you need to give credit Livingston on that because they kind of shut up shop and stopped us maybe getting through, which is, listen, it's two teams, it's not just about Celtic. Livingston done a good job as well defensively. The second half, again, we kind of just plateaued a wee bit again, and it was just we went away from doing directness. It was more the tippy-tappy stuff again. You're thinking, right, come on.
Shall we say?
Aye, and then you're thinking, right, go forward. But then, obviously, the penalty, Alan, that obviously took the stuff out of us. But then we went to one each and we started going again. So that's maybe my only criticism is that I don't know why we wait till we go 1-0 down. Why we concede to then start pushing again. That's my only criticism for last night was, Alan, because with a lot of shots and goal, Big Tam, for me, if that's Johnny Kenny, I'm going to have my nut at Johnny Kenny. So if it's Diza Maeda, I need to go off my nut at Tam for that, because a good striker scores that, mate. A guy who's on form and a clinical striker in title races, you need to score their chances. So Big Tam, I think it's too very, very early to judge him. I thought it was good against Hearts. But one thing I want to touch on, Alan, is you mentioned Big Tam. What's your thoughts on him? Because I don't think, again, similar to Adam Eder, I wasn't Adam Eder's biggest fan, but one thing I'll say to Adam Eder is they didn't really play to his strengths. Now, whatever strengths Brendan thought he had, I don't think the wingers played to his strength to a certain degree, and I think it's similar to Tam. Now, you've got a 6'5", 6'3", whatever it is. He's a big guy, they don't use him enough, in my opinion, Alan. They done it at Tynecastle. He get fouls all the time. He get breaks of the ball. He scored, nearly got a second, a first goal as well. Before he got his first goal, the wingers need to get the ball in the box. The end product for Tanecki, he's very good directness. He was actually really good in the second half yesterday, but his end product has to improve. And Big Tam, he's no, for me, Martin O'Neill says he's not a target man. Right? To me, he looks a target man all at the back. A guy that's going to get you fibbles, he's got his elbows there, he's going to be a nuisance, but he'll get you a goal. But they need to get the ball in the box, Alan. There's no point having a big guy up front and no getting the ball up high in the box or get him to hold it up.
Yeah, that's what I think about Tam. I think that you're looking at his first couple of games, and I was feeling positive, but I think to myself as well, are we feeling positive because of the past strikers we've seen in the last few months at Celtic? Have we acclimatised to that standard that we have gone, there's a half decent striker come in here and we go, oh, he's far better than maybe Johnny Kenny, maybe better than Ian Atcho. But I think we looked a bit one-dimensional last night. I think there was balls played into the box, but Livingston were clearing it kind of the majority of the time relatively easily. And I think when they cleared it, the problem, one of the big issues was as well, I think the majority of the time, the second ball was falling to a Livingston player. We didn't have our midfield kind of pressing up as much that we were gaining a lot of the second balls, and that's where you can find a lot of your creativity, a lot of your chances, a lot of your kind of XG and goals coming from. So I think it was a bit one-dimensional. It did look as if we were lacking maybe that wee bit of quality. Oxlade-Chamberlain comes on and he shows that quality. It's too early doors to judge Suvanchara. I think we probably need to see him for a run of games and then make a full judgment on that. But I didn't like what I seen last night. I think you're looking at that chance that he had. I think that's criminal for a striker, for any striker. I think when you're going through on a goalkeeper, he's got a chance to go basically straight at the goalkeeper. He's got a chance to go either way. He's got a chance to kind of try and go round the goalkeeper, etc. There's many options there, and a lot of your shots, a lot of your kind of efforts seem to go directly at the Livingston goalkeeper. Yeah, he did have a lot of saves, but I seen a comment there as well. I thought was spot on that most of the saves was because there was shots played directly at him. I wouldn't pick out many of the saves that were you're going, oh, that's a cracking save there. So we need to maybe stop being so wasteful when we're getting these chances, because as I touched upon with yourself last night as well, Brian, Livingston are bottom of the league. Livingston tend not to score many goals, but they had a couple of wee chances. Let's see, with set pieces, we looked exceptionally fragile. There wasn't many. But there was one time, I think, the first half that a ball came in at the back post and it dropped directly to a Livingston player. Mm-hmm. He had a clean shot at goal. He managed to kind of fluff his lines, obviously, thankfully for us, that he doesn't take advantage of that. But there was far too much space with set pieces. And my concern is in future that if we're playing the likes of Stuttgart, if we're playing the likes of a Motherwell, a Hearts, a Rangers, if we're playing maybe teams of a better quality, a better standard than Livingston, if they're getting the chances, then a lot of the teams are putting them away, and we could be one or two down before we even know it. So I was looking at the kind of set pieces last night. I think Martin Shawn and Mark Foringham probably are seeing the same things, and hopefully they're trying to kind of remedy that, they're trying to correct that, because I think having that much space to have an effort in the Celtic box for a set piece could be very, very dangerous going forward.
Yeah, it was quite a good point as well for Barry. Hope you're well, Barry. About the form we're in terms of performances. I don't think it's great, but I do agree with Barry as Alan that the fact that we are winning games, that is ultimately, at the end of the day, no matter what I think about the performance, we are winning games. But it's just me as a fan, Alan. I can just sense that. I go back to the Brendan Rodgers, was it his first season? with Clement, and we went through a stage of no playing well, but we won. But then we came to a blip, and I think we drew away at St Johnstone. We struggled to beat Motherwell. I think we struggled to beat Hibs. We were starting to really, we were starting to dwindle a wee bit. So I'd like that to change, Barry. Personally, I'd like us to perform a wee bit better, especially going to Ibrox and maybe Hearts at Tynecastle at Celtic Park and the split, etc. But
it's a great point that obviously we're picking up the results, but we're still third in the league. And that's where it's concerning. We've not picked up the results because we're out of the Champions League. We're sitting third in the league and we lost our first trophy this year. So we've lost 6 games this year. So these poor performances, they're there. It's evident that they're taking the poor performances are coming back to bite us. I think the last few years we've never lost as many games as that, and that's why we're sitting kind of third in the league. So I think logically you would expect if a team plays better, if a team performs well, they're going to get better results, and usually that's the way it happens. We've been slightly fortunate in the last kind of number of weeks that we've managed to get the kind of late goals, but that fortune will never kind of last forever. We need to up that performance level, and I think it's proven that we're sitting third in the league because of that performance level. Whereas if in years gone by, we've been kind of a good few points ahead because we've not lost as many games. And fundamentally, for me, it comes down to performance level. You play well, you win more games. You play badly, you drop more points. And that's the way that it ends up happening. As I say, it could short term that you play poorly and you still pick up the points. But in the long term, if you continue to underperform, then the points will follow.
And obviously a big player last night for us, I thought, was obviously the man to get the goal. Sirachi, fantastic goal. He kicked us off the game, and I know Martin O'Neill spoke in the press today. I've not seen his presser, but I've seen a bit of the article that he's kind of telling the club to hopefully get that permanently. And like I've spoke to you, I've spoke to JP, I've spoke to anybody who's a Celtic fan that I know about. If the board and the hierarchy are wanting us to be this big progressive club and do things right and do the basics right, Julian Araujo, Sirachi, they should be getting spoke to now. Listen, and again, this is what I'm talking about the summer. See if you get A2 in before the summer. If you get KT and hopefully Johnson, touch wood, doesn't have the best of World Cups and there's no bids, and we keep the A4, that's the A4. That's your right and left back for them maybe in the next 2, 3, 4 years. If they don't go, obviously, for elsewhere. KT's 28, 29, 28. Well, I'll touch on him because I was really impressed with him last night when he came on. Sirachi's no old, Julian's no old, and Ali Johnson isn't old. So you're talking about building and developing. Get them signed, and that's you get 4 very, very good right and left backs for the league in Scotland, and probably more Europe, Ireland, than anything else. So, like I keep saying, mate, if you build towards Europe, i.e. getting players to make you better in Europe, I don't want to sound like I'm just writing off the link here, but if you get players to make you good for Europe, the chance of them being good for the league is probably going to win you the league because they're that good to do it in Europe. So what's your thoughts on Sirachi, mate? For me, cracking goal last night, great technique. I would try and get it done as soon as possible, and it means he can settle, the club can settle, and then we don't need to look for another left back, and that's one after the list of the rebuild.
100%. I think that every Celtic fan that I've spoken to kind of feels the same about Sirachi. I think we've landed upon a gem. I think it's inadvertently we've landed on him because it's been widely reported that it was an agent that kind of offered Sirachi in our time of need. I don't think, well, we're pretty sure it wasn't a player that was looked upon or scouted. And that's the reason why it's no a loan with some sort of option. So I think every performance we've seen Sirachi, I've been really impressed, and I think you're spot on with regards to you're ticking a box, a very important box that you're looking at the fullback positions. That's two for both sides, and
See, Alan, I'm ahead of my time, mate. Look, I'm ahead of my time.
No, it's only logical. It's right. It's only logical if we prepare a squad and a starting 11 that has the quality to participate and reasonably challenge in Europe. I'm not expecting kind of wonders, but if we can play at a certain level in Europe, then domestically it should take care of itself. If we've worked up to a standard that we can play the likes of Stuttgart or whoever the opponents may be in Europe, and we can hold our own, then coming back domestically puts us in a far better position because we know we've got the quality and the standard to challenge these sort of teams to compete. So just touching on the fullback positions again, I think that if we manage to kind of keep a hold of these two loan signings, if we can sign them, and obviously with Alistair Johnston and Kieran Tierney there, then it ticks a box for both fullback positions, and I think that would look extremely strong. It's maybe, I don't know the ins and outs of the transfer. I think it was maybe one that was just offered to us that we've heard, but it maybe be a wee bit foolish that we've not had an option to sign Sirachi, because there'll be no doubt about that other teams are seeing that he's playing really well for Celtic, probably including his parent club. So maybe the price tag that would have been kind of 6-7 months ago, that might have been increased kind of significantly now if we go and ask the question. But for me, I think the four fullbacks we've got at the club at present, I'd be extremely happy with going forward.
Just obviously some comments as well. One was from Typhoon. He says, would Iheanacho be a better option than Big Tam last night? I really don't know about that one. Iheanacho, he's obviously not either fully fit or he's fully up to speed yet, because he's been on the bench or he might have started. So, maybe it is because Martin knows about him and he's just wanting to see the other guys and then go, right, maybe they'll know for me this running. And he is. So I don't know how you take on that. And obviously, JP is right in sense of getting the last minute goals. It does show that the mentality is there to keep going. But eventually, that's my only thing to that is JP. We're not always going to get last minute goals against Dundee. It's not always going to happen. If it does, listen, then I'll be struggling every game until it happens. But if it happens, brilliant. But we've all played football, we've all seen football. I know Celtic are really good at last minute goals. They've always been notorious at Aaron, but we're not going to get every game to the last kick of the ball. We're not always going to get 6 and 8 minutes on at the end of the game every game. It's not always going to happen, and we need to try and be more clinical and get the game done 90 minutes.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, and JP's right to a certain degree. And to be fair, see if it happens now and again, see the euphoria you feel when we get that kind of last minute, it's fantastic. Obviously, it's not fantastic watching the game beforehand, but
it's not.
But as I said, there's a reason we've lost 6 games. There's a reason that we're sitting third in the league, and that's kind of performances, whether that be under Rodgers, whether that be under Nancy, whether that be under Martin O'Neill. There's a reason we're sitting third in the league, and it's performances lead to poor results. That's just the crux of it. That's at the end of the day, that's your fundamental. You play well, there's a high percentage, a chance that you're going to get a good result. You play poorly, high percentage that you're not going to pick up the 3 points. So it is basic. But it is, to turn it around the other hand, as I say, it's euphoric when you see that kind of last minute winner get in. There's kind of no better feeling, and it's great at that point. But when you take a wee step back and you look at it, you look in context, I think we'd all probably rather prefer that we were kind of 3 or 4-0 up with a good performance last night. But still, at the same time, it was a good feeling to have to kind of score at that last minute.
Yeah, it was just some of the stats for last night as well. With plenty of shots, plenty of possession, plenty on target, plenty of corners, everything. If you're into XG was we actually didn't score up to our XG. If I don't really care about XG, Alan, personally, but
as well, what's the target, etc.
Yeah, so it just shows you that we are maybe creating a lot, but maybe it's in terms of it just shows you we're doing it to be clinical. But the be all and end all is we won the game, and obviously the penalty that obviously Livingston got that kind of puts behind a wee bit to one each. I'm not going to criticise Hatate too much. Listen, it's one of the things. Maybe it's a lapse in concentration. He's trying to kick the ball. He's hurt the man. That's just a penalty. It happens. I don't know if it's maybe because he's just on the park and he wasn't fully. I don't know, but end of the day, we won the game, so it didn't matter. But they are small, minute errors. A pass back, a kick in the leg to the defender, penalty. They're small things that can lose your leagues, can lose your games. So just as well we got the goal. But I don't want to blame too much. But it was just, I thought it was unlucky, mate, to be honest with you. But it did put us behind a bit in the game.
If we're going to pick at things, he probably should be more aware of his kind of surroundings. He should anticipate that the Livingston players coming in. I think it's kind of outside his eye line, but he's basically got his eye on the ball. The ball's kind of falling, and he's ready to volley the ball away. And the Livingston players come in before he's had the chance to kind of volley the ball away, and it ends up that he's made contact with a Livingston player. I think these things happen. I think it might be. Obviously, it's not giving him a great deal of confidence the way that he's been performing recently, but I wouldn't have a massive gripe against Hatate. I think these kind of things happen sometimes. I don't think he's made a blatant error. I think he's just maybe should show maybe a wee bit more awareness. But I were lucky. Well, not lucky. We obviously got enough chances, but it's fortunate that we managed to get the winner. But I think composure's a great word, Francis. I think that's what Wasteful and lacked that kind of composure a lot last night, whether that came to that final ball or that shot on target that wasn't hit directly at the goalkeeper. So with the penalty, it's one of the ones. I don't think he was absolutely kind of silly or stupid. I think it was just a kind of error that he wasn't aware. But we'd probably like more concentration from our players, to be honest.
Question as well from Typhoon. He says, do we think, lads, that we'll go unbeaten? There's every possibility, Typhoon. Listen, this Celtic team has still got individual quality. As much as I'm saying I want us to perform better, Alan, I'm being honest, I just want us to win now because I'm not going to have gripes because I can't see the way the team have been playing now. My personal opinion is really since March, April, this Celtic team have not really played at their full capacity in majority of the games. The league table tells you that, the out of the cup and everything. So I'm not going to go back on any negatives, but that's the facts. No matter what anybody thinks about it, that's the facts. We've lost the amount of games, albeit probably due to Nancy. I get that, but it doesn't matter. Brendan lost one or two as well. So on this forum, will we go unbeaten? Performances will need to change. They will need to slightly change. But I'm being honest, Alan, I'm not going to expect Celtic to start being under Ange or when Rod. I'm not expecting Celtic. I'm not going to expect that anymore because I don't think the team, they might have it in them that the odd game. I don't think for the rest of the season they're going to have it in them to do every game. But I think there's going to be certain games like the game at Hammering against Rangers. The first half, it was brilliant. Football, it was quick. Last night, the first 20 minutes was brilliant. It was quick. Tynecastle, the first half was really good again. So they've got moments in them, but I don't think they're going to do it for a full game because the evidence, this isn't just me saying that, the evidence shows you that what's happened this year. But can it happen? Of course it can, Alan. But your guys like the McGregors, your Oxlade-Chamberlains, your strikers got to score goals, but they can go unbeaten, Alan. I think if you win on Sunday, a tough venue, because of the park. But again, no excuses, by the way. If we get beaten Sunday, don't blame the park. No excuses. We've been to Livingston and won, we've been to Kelly and won. Don't blame the Astro Park. Blame the players and the manager for getting it wrong on the day if we get beat. Not the park. But as a hindrance, I get it, Alan. But we can't blame the park for getting beat. But if we win on Sunday, it starts this run of games, mate, because we have got a tough run of games. If we come out them unscathed and still, like you've said as well before we come on, if we're still really, really close to Hearts or even above Hearts or Rangers in this split, you'd like to fancy us to go and push on, mate. And performances possibly, well, we all say as a fan base that the nip and tuck end of the season, we do turn up and we do get the games won and the trophies won. But people might call me negative. It's fine. We need to be realistic here. The way this season has went up and down. Don't have the guarantee in your head that we're going to do it this season. Don't have it in your head that don't think, right, we've not performed, they won a game, it's going to happen. We need to win every game. Every game is a cup final. Don't think because we won it last year before, we will eventually lose a league. It might be next year, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, 20 years' time. It's going to happen. Football, it's going to happen eventually. I hope it doesn't, but it's going to, right? It could be this year. It could be next year. So don't take it for granted that we have done it in the past. We just need to, every game as it goes, just hope the experience of Tierney, Chamberlain, McGregor's, Casper Schmeichel, that it will help us through to the end of the season. But can we go unbeaten, mate? The full answer is, of course we can, but we just need to perform and put it on the park, mate.
Aye, we can go unbeaten. There's no doubt about that. We can. Do I think we'll go unbeaten, going on what we've been watching recently? Most likely not. I think you look at that, I know you're just wanting the wins, but if we play well, we give ourselves more opportunity to win these games. So you're looking at the game at the weekend. I think I says in the last podcast, the next Livingston, Kilmarnock, then I think after Leipzig is it Hibs at home, I'm sure, is it?
I think we've got one home game out of 5 or something, or 6 or something. It's something crazy.
In this run of games, probably the two, Livingston, Kilmarnock away, the bottom and second bottom of the league, these should be the two that we're definitely looking at. We need to pick up maximum points. I know that the plastic pitch can be an issue, but it shouldn't be an excuse either, as you say. It shouldn't be the case that we're looking upon the pitch and going, oh, we can't win because of that. I think that we should have enough quality to take care of Kilmarnock. I don't think that's disrespectful in saying they're sitting second bottom of the league at present. New manager Neil McCann, but I think that we definitely need to be looking to taking 3 points at the weekend. I think that the next number of games that we need to look upon them as cup finals because we're slightly adrift at the top of the table. But yeah, as I said to you earlier, I think when you look at the split as well, and we can't just take this as we're going to definitely do better on the split, but we'll have 3 home games after the split. 2 of them will be at home to Rangers and to Hearts. So there will be an away game with Motherwell, but I think if we get to the split and we're within touching distance, we should probably become favourites. But there's a long time between now and the split. A lot of things can happen. But I think we need to pick up, and from now until the split, I think we're going to need to pick up the majority of points because I think Hearts run, maybe I says to you after they play Rangers, they maybe get quite a kind run of fixtures until the split. Probably what could be viewed upon as the easiest, but I think it's just imperative that we pick up as many wins as possible. You could look at the game at Ibrox and say that's a must not lose, but I think starting for the weekend, everything needs to be viewed upon as a cup final. I think we need to pick up as many points as possible to claw this difference back. And if we get to the split ahead or within touching distance, then you would look at the kind of run of fixtures we'll have and think that we're more than capable and probably favourites to go on and kind of lift the league silverware. So it's just important every game that we're winning. You've heard Martin in the interviews as well. He said the kind of exact same time that every game's a must win. We've put ourselves in that position, whether it's Wilfred Nancy, whether it's Brendan Rodgers, whether it's Martin O'Neill, whether it's players, board, whatever. We're in this position at present that we're behind in the league. We need to make sure that we're clawing that back. The other teams will drop points at certain, but we need to make sure that we are picking up more points than our rivals above us in the league at present.
Hi, Dab. Yeah, Shy we're back next week, mate. It's just to be a bit under the weather. I think a lot of people are getting a bit no well, but yeah, big man's fine, mate. No, definitely, Alan, and obviously the blockbuster moment at the end. There was 6 minutes added on. To be fair, by the way, we've won the game, so I can mention it. I thought the referee was horrific last night. Absolutely abysmal, the referee. But to be fair, I think he kind of said us at the end, because I've got a wee sneaky feeling there was a handball at the end and he blew the whistle right away. He blew the whistle right.
His hand was a wee bit.
Bear in mind where I sat, I'm the other end, so I only seen a glimpse of it, and I thought, oh no, this might go to VAR.
Very, very harsh, but I wouldn't put it past the kind of handball rules just now. That if
See,
they would
I've not seen it again, Alan, so I can't comment. But my first instance was like, oh, this might go to VAR. He went beep, beep, beep. I went, all right, good, they can't go back to it now, the game's done. The game's done. But I thought that I generally think the referee was really poor last night. But the big moment was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain when he came on. Also as well, one big criticism I've got of Martin for last night, and it's not just Martin, by the way. It's Roger's done it as well. Nancy's done it. See, when we're chasing the game, why did he always take a striker off and put a striker on? Why not go two up front?
Noticed that the last couple of games.
Why do we not go two up front and just go for it? You've got Adama on the bench and you've got Tama, unless he's knackered. But even then, put my head up front, man. Go two up front. Maybe it's just me, Alan. I don't know, but I would rather go two up front. But then obviously, Chamberlain comes on. The goal, I don't know if anybody's really watched the goal back a lot and really looked. He's replayed that moment in his head. He's 2 or 3 or 4, 5 steps ahead of most of the players on that park. If anybody look at it back, he's already looking. His body positions are already shaping to take a touch and shoot. He knows what he's doing as soon as he gets that ball for Tanecki. He's already steps ahead, and you can see right away, Alan, that the guy's at quality. Now, I'm not going to say no. Boom, that's him, the Chamberlain that we've all seen. But it's a very, very good start, mate. And that goal was tremendous, absolutely tremendous. The technique, and hopefully, I'd imagine he'll get some game time on Sunday. See if he's fit, Alan, play him, because it's that bit of quality that will tide you here.
No, it was an exceptional finish. I think that you'll probably see better of Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. You can see right away that he's definitely got quality. You'll see better when he starts to kind of adjust to the league, adjust to his teammates, the squad, and kind of settle in. But I definitely, it was a brilliant goal. He's took the goal exceptionally well. No doubt about it. He's added that wee bit of quality that's managed to get us the win. So it's early days, obviously. It was a perfect start for him, but we'll see how he gets on. But for me, you're looking at the weekend. Unless he's got any injuries or any kind of effect to an artificial pitch, I'd be starting him right away. I think that you're looking at he's not registered in the European squad, so he's going to have a full week to recover during the next couple of weeks anyway. So for me, you would look to get Oxlade-Chamberlain into the first team, start adjusting to kind of Scottish football. He's obviously picking it up well just at present, but when you're looking at, we've got a couple of games against Rangers upcoming, you would want Oxlade-Chamberlain in and very comfortable within the team for the kind of bigger games coming up. So for me, at your spot, I'd start with Oxlade-Chamberlain at the weekend. I think that he shouldn't be starting for the bench, because he's going to have a full week to recover. He's been fit. If he's been training with Arsenal, it's just a case of match fitness. So for me, I think it's a no-brainer. We should be starting.
No, spot on, JP, as Francis says, the way that he took it. He's opened his body up. He's already steps ahead, mate, of that goal, and it's brilliant. He's not on the European squad, but we've got to touch on that, Alan, just before we touch on the Kelly game. Obviously, we don't know how long Engels is going to be out for. I don't know the injury. I've not seen Martin's full presser yet, so I don't know how bad his injury was. It looked like his quad to me. I don't know if it is his quad, but I don't know when the deadline is to take something out. I think you can take, is it one person you can make change? Is it, am I right in saying that? Was it gone? Right, okay.
There was three changes. So
we can't change.
It was Mavuka, Chavan Chara, and Arajo that get brought in.
But I mean, see, due to injuries, current for an emergency, can you make a change? No. I thought it was one change you can. No, right, okay. So again, I hope Engels isn't out for long. I don't know Paul. I don't know the full thing with him, his injury. So we'll just need to see how that goes. But obviously, the last wee bit of the show, Alan, obviously the Kelly game. What's your thoughts, mate? Quickly before we end the show on the game. Do you think anybody will come in changes wise, or do you think they'll try and get that momentum now and kind of play the same team?
They'll probably be similar. As I say, we made pretty accurate. I think you were bang on the money. The only difference we had was Travanchara and I say Adamu. So I think it'll probably be similar. The starting lineup. I think if Engels is out, Oxlade-Chamberlain comes directly back in. Comes in for the start, I would say. But I think Martin's probably coming to what's his strongest side. I think it'll probably be a similar lineup. We're going to expect probably Kilmarnock to be hard to break down. Maybe the pitch is obviously no ideal, but if we've got enough quality, enough cutting edge, then I think we should be able to kind of take care of Kilmarnock. It's not going to be easy. We need to kind of give them full respect, but we're looking at them set bottom of the league. They'll maybe play the low block. They'll maybe try and hit us in the counter attack. But for me, I could see the game going that we're like maybe not as much possession and chances, but probably pretty similar to what we seen last night. And for me, it's just a case of staying solid at the back, creating the chances, and we need to stop being wasteful. We need to take advantage of the chances when they come across. So for me, stop being wasteful, take the chances, and it should be 3 points. And let's hope, because it's a must win.
Yeah, it's a must win, mate. And Chill Paul is right. I did forget to mention him because we're just a bit short of show tonight. But I thought KT was a difference maker last night. I thought he looked sharp. I thought he was really, really good. He worked well with Tanetki. So hopefully Tanetki and Sriracha and Tierney can work down that side. And I'd imagine KT might come back in on Sunday as well if his nose is okay and stuff. But that is us for tonight's show, guys. Just a wee quick one before the weekend, just due to availability stuff. I've got obviously things on in our own life, so we still want to come on and give you a bit of time to chat in the comments and obviously put some content out for the weekend. We might be on after the game of Sunday, but we'll let you know. If not, we'll be back on Monday as usual, 8 o'clock. So enjoy your weekend, guys. If you go to the game, stay safe. Wrap up, because it will be very, very cold. We might be getting snow, I think. Well, we get snow, I don't know. But enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care. Enjoy the game. If you're not in the pub, wherever you are, enjoy. Hopefully get the 3 points. And as Alan says, we push on and hopefully kick onto the split. So, hail, guys. Take care. And I'll see you all very, very soon.
Up Larsson here. Larsson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! O'Reilly. How about that for a pass? Jota! How about that for a finish? That is Jota for you!
In for Henrik Larsson, and Moravcik! His first goal for Celtic!
Here is Shunsuke Nakamura!